Get into their Android app for Wells Fargo or Bank of America. You should know that Wells Fargo and Bank of America did not have an Android app. So all those people were entering their information in for a hacker. We're going to be talking to you about backup and disaster recovery, more importantly, about business continuity. As you guys can see from the cartoon, keeping your information in Post-it notes does not necessarily help everything. A little background on Palindrome Consulting. We've been in business since 1999. We started with Y2K, servicing small and medium-sized businesses. This is our 13th full year in business. We are a certified partner with Microsoft and Cisco, as well as many other vendors. We've been voted as one of the best IT firms in South Florida by the South Florida Business Journal in numerous years. Approximately 45% of our client base is in the legal field, and the balance thereof is really on the medical and our law clients' clients. About myself, 25 years plus of experience in IT. Again, I am certified with Microsoft and Cisco myself. I am a member of the FBI's InfoGuard. I'm also a member of the Secret Service Electronic Crimes Task Force. I have testified as an expert witness, participated in several CLE events, and I don't know if you could recognize me from my radio show, but at least maybe my voice might sound familiar. It's a 4:30 Monday afternoons on 880 The Biz. It's called A Brilliant Business Show. So, I have the latest copy of my book, Hassle-Free Technology Support, up front. It is the second book I've written in the last 3 years. And it is free for all of you that come to the show. You're welcome to take a copy home. It should be very enlightening to you as you might make your decisions. Now, why are we here today? Tomorrow is June 1st. And for those of you that do not recognize that graphic, that is Hurricane Andrew. I was here for Hurricane Andrew. I was the director of IT for Pepsi-Cola International at the time when we had to create a disaster recovery plan, business continuity plan. That was a lot of fun. Nobody knew what we were doing. But what I'm trying to help you guys with today is I'm going to try to educate you so that not only can you take this value back to your office, but more importantly, you can share some information and some education with your clients as well. So how do we define data loss? There's a variety of different options. But if you guys look at the two largest pieces of the pie, one is hardware failure and the other one is human error. Most of the other stuff we can try to avoid, but human error, I don't have the systems in place that can avoid that. And hardware failure, we all know hardware is getting faster, cheaper, and replaced very quickly. So when we define backup, it is defined as the transfer of data from one source to another. And I'm happy that you guys were talking about online data backup because, and we'll go into this a little bit later, the data backup is not the key to a business continuity solution. It's the ability to restore that data. So I'll share with you a very quick story where actually I had a client of ours who had backed all of his information with Mozy, and it was great. He had all of his laptop. Then he had a hardware problem with his laptop. Dell came out and replaced his hard drive. So he says, great, I'm going to log into Mozy and download my information. His own laptop, his personal laptop, took him about a week and a half on a Comcast fast access line to download everything from his laptop. Now, is there anybody here that can stay out of business without, having their data for a week and a half? Can you stay in business? That's very difficult. So when you have a backup, your first expectation is to be able to recover it. Now, you can recover your files. You also need to recover your line of business information or application. You guys do billable time. You need to be able to recover that. You need to be able to bill. You need to be able to collect. Now, additionally, there are errors that happen when the information comes back. If it's not synchronized, information is not going to come back correctly. Programs may not start. How do you continue being in business when you don't have your information. Statistics show that 93% of companies that lose their data file for bankruptcy within 1 year. Now, most traditional backups are run daily, mostly at the end of the day and at night. They might be transferred to another media, such as a tape backup, or maybe even an external hard drive. Occasionally, they're taken off-site. How many people here have a secretary that takes the backup off-site? One. Okay, you're better off than most. The question is, what happens if that hard drive gets stolen from her car? Or she loses her purse? Okay? When the backups become too large, they start skipping days, they start doing it once a week. Okay? The reality is most of those backups are never tested. Your backup is only as good as your last restore. The last time that you restored that information, that's how you know when you have a backup. I can't begin to tell you how many times I've gone in to do an assessment on a client, and I'll say, okay, when was the last time you did a restore? Well, I don't know. Okay, have you tested your backups now? Well, would you mind if we test your backups? Sure, I have 4 tapes, 1 for every week. And we switch them out week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. I say, great. Let's test out tape number 4. Done. Tape number 3. Done. Tape number 2. Hey, that one worked. Great. So how do you survive when you've lost 2 weeks worth of information? What happens then if you have a major server crash? Nobody ever has that answer. So what we try to deliver is a solution on business continuity. I'll put up all the bullet points. I'll let you guys read them while I speak about it. But our business continuity solution is a multi-step approach into having not just your backup of your data, but complete mirror images of your servers and or computers as they are required that are initially installed on a specific device on your premise, then copied to a cloud location, okay, where we can easily then mirror it to a second cloud location. So you guys know, we just heard about the cloud. The cloud is really a computer somewhere out on the internet. So we have 3 copies of that information. Now, I will tell you that when it comes to having your information redundant, it's great. But as Michael mentioned, there isn't enough bandwidth in the world that will allow you to download, depending on the size of your office, my 3 servers into computers that were important for me to download. It just doesn't happen. We have the ability to actually turn on your servers in the cloud and access your data in the cloud and allow you to function just as if you were in your office. So what are the differences between backup and business continuity? Backup, since they're run at the end of the day, you could potentially, if you have a great backup, your best case scenario is you're going to lose a full day of work. So if you had a crash at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you're going to get the data from last night. Okay? Most of them are files and folder based. So you're going to have to rebuild the server, reinstall the operating system, reinstall all the applications, and we know how many applications those are. And then restore the data and then pray that they all match and they all work. Now, God forbid that there was an update in between, because then we're really up the creek without a paddle. Because we all know, where does that software that you just installed lie? We pray that it's in the same file cabinet that you put it in 6 months ago. But the odds are it's not there. So you go down to the website, you download the new version of the software, which is not the version you installed, and now the data that you just restored does not match the program that you were working with. Uh-oh. You've accomplished nothing. You're still dead in the water. You still can't function. What we do is we actually have a perfect image of that server. We have the ability to restore that server computer within 30 to 45 minutes and let you get back up and running. Not only do we have the ability to restore it, like I told you, we can actually turn it on in the cloud. So we all live in South Florida. We all know we've had a 7-year hurricane vacation. I'm not jinxing anything, but eventually we're going to hit the wall, or it's going to hit us. Are we prepared? I venture to guess that most of your clients are not. Most law offices are fairly sophisticated in comparison to most of their clients, and they somewhat are. That's why we have a free assessment. I invite you to stop by our booth. We have a free assessment form that you can give to your clients, and if they reach out to you, we will give them a free disaster recovery business continuity assessment on your behalf. You can use this as part of your courtesy. Not only that, we are taking continuous snapshots of your servers as the day goes along. So we had a situation where we had one of our clients where January 5th rolled around and the controller went in to close out 2012. And instead of closing 2012, she deleted 2012. And we got a Mayday call at 9:30 in the morning. I lost my whole year. I said, don't worry, we'll get it back to you. Which version do you want? 9:15, 8:45, 8, 7:30, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, which one? Says, I think I'm good at 9 o'clock. We restored 9 o'clock, she wasn't good at 9 o'clock. We had to go to the 8:30 backup. We went to the 8:30 backup, she was able to get back up and running. Even though we have had a vacation as far as hurricane goes, we can't say the same for New Jersey, we can't say the same thing for Joplin, Missouri, we cannot say the same thing, for Oklahoma. We also know we had a client 6 months ago had a fire in their complex. It's a warehouse complex. The people next door to them caught on fire. The fire came and they ate up their servers. So when you're talking about the continuity of your business, we're not talking about just the files and the documents that you're talking about. We're talking about the accounting data, your receivables, your payables, your information about your most important asset. What is it? Your information. Where does that information reside? In many different programs. It's not just in the information you're keeping. If you practice personal injury, you have HIPAA compliance issues. If you're dealing with public companies, you've got Sarbanes-Oxley issues. So, you need to be aware when you are talking to your clients, okay, about all of these things. Okay? 20% of businesses fail because they didn't have the right plan in place. You sometimes have backups. We've walked into these situations. Oh, I heard from my friend that you can come and help us. Please come and help us. We have backups. 1 week later, a new IT company comes into place. We've restored their information. It's costing somewhere between $35,000 and $40,000 to restore all their information, and they've been out of business for 1 week. Is that a plan? One of the things that we learned, and I'm a member of a variety of different peer groups, okay, is that we have actually developed a conglomerate of information based on this. And some of my peers do live in Joplin, some of them live in New York and New Jersey, okay? And we actually discuss these things. So what have we learned, okay? Most plans are local. Well, I'll have John and Cindy go by the office and open the office and get the files out. Oh, not if there's a fire. Not if the police department has closed down and there's a perimeter around that area. Everybody says, well, I have FedEx, I'll call Dell, I'll have them order a server and have them deliver it. What we found out is that UPS and FedEx will not deliver to those sections either. Furthermore, if you are in a remote location and you say, well, Mr. FedEx, can you please deliver it? I'm at the hotel, I'm at the Westin in Fort Lauderdale because my office burned down. If that address doesn't match your billing address and your credit card, they will not deliver it. Now we're assuming that we can communicate. This goes back to my experience with Andrew, and ever since we've taken the right measures in order to avoid this situation, cell phones go down. So how are you going to communicate? When we create a business continuity plan for our clients, we have a backup. We have a backup way of communicating that allows all of our clients to communicate better. We buy pigeons for them. Messenger pigeons. No, just kidding. So we actually do create a backup scenario that allows them to communicate one way or another. What we do for our clients is when there's a disaster pending, which is a hurricane for us, we actually ship some of our staff to either Jacksonville or Orlando, and we will communicate to you who those engineers are going to be, and you will have their cell phone number so you can reach them. You should do the same with your employees, and your clients should do the same with their employees. You need one go-to person that will coordinate all of that information. Who's going to have rights to go to the office? Who's going to have the ability to get that information? Who has the keys to the office? Who can open, who can close? When do you open? When do you close? All those things need to be accounted for. Now, when it comes down to business continuity, there's two very simple facts that you need to understand. I saw some people taking pictures of the slides. I'm more than happy to share the slides If you come to me to my booth right afterwards, just give me your business card, I'll forward you the slide deck for you to have it. But the most important factors when it comes to business continuity is your recovery time objective and the recovery point objective. What that means is what and when. So when, I want that information from 8:30 this morning, not 6 o'clock yesterday afternoon. And the point is, what source of information? Well, I might only need my Exchange server from 6 o'clock yesterday afternoon. I might need my database from yesterday in the morning, because we only update our database about a couple of times a week, and so on and so forth. We help develop those plans for all of our clients. We encourage you to talk to your clients about developing those types of plans for them to be able to do that. Not all information is created equal. What things can you do today? We all know, we can all assume that there's going to be some flooding. So if you have a first or second floor office, or if you have an office with a lot of windows, you want to pull your equipment off the floor. You should perform your own risk assessment. We have some folks that will help you with that. You have to identify key personnel to do critical jobs. You have to identify who can telecommunicate, what information is going to be in the cloud, who's going to have access to vendors, what are the critical documents that you're going to have in hand, what is the right working strategy if you're going to have a new location. We have certain clients that are mission critical, and we secure a secondary location for them out of town. It might be a conference room like this, where we set up 5 or 6 tables, and they might have 15 or 20 people working, but we help them do that. You have to communicate that plan to your employees, and you need to review and revise that plan. You could also schedule sometimes with us today to help you with that situation. I guarantee you, you'll be glad you did. If you have additional questions, I invite you to please stop by our booth. Okay, my henchman's already showing up. My time is over. Thank you all for attending. My information is here.
Cloud service, does it complement the cloud service? Do we have to have both?
You have to have a plan no matter where your data is. So if your data is in the cloud, you also need to know who's going to go to the office, who's not going to the office, who's going to be able to call your customers, who's going to be able to call your vendors, okay? If you're in the middle of a case and you've got an e-discovery case and you have information that was in your office, somebody needs to be able to call the opposing counsel and say, listen, we can get to the office now. So you have to have a plan in place that depends significantly on the amount of data that's been shared.
Thank you again, Ilan, for that.